If you're busy, you don't need more motivation. You need a protocol that fits real life. And if we had to pick one fitness vital sign that keeps showing up in longevity research, it's VO2 max. Because VO2 max is basically your oxygen engine under stress. It's how much reserve you have when life asks for more power, stairs, hills, carrying groceries, chasing a kid, or just recovering from a bad week. Aging feels harder when daily life starts living too close to your maximum. Here's the good news. You don't need marathon training to nudge VO2 after 40. Short bursts of higher intensity work can move the needle with way less total time than most people think. Here's the part we have to say out loud. Microdose does not mean reckless. After 40, the goal is not to prove how hard we can suffer. The goal is controlled intensity, low-impact tools, a real warm-up, conservative progression, and knowing who should not do this. So in this episode, we'll explain what VO2 max actually is, why it matters for health span, and then we'll give you a safe 4-week starter plan. We'll also cover the bike and rower versions, warm-up rules that are non-negotiable, and red flags that mean stop and get checked. First, what is VO2 max in plain English? It's the maximum rate your body can use oxygen during progressively harder exercise. That reflects your lungs bringing oxygen in, your heart and blood vessels delivering it, and your muscles using it. Think of it like horsepower for humans, not because we're trying to be race cars, but because horsepower gives margin. And margin is what keeps normal life from feeling like a workout. This is why VO2 max matters more after 40. When fitness is higher, the same daily task costs you less effort. Your heart rate doesn't spike as easily, you recover faster, and you're less likely to avoid movement because everything feels exhausting. Now, the microdose concept. Sprint interval training usually means very short, very hard bursts with long, easy recoveries. The microdose version is the smallest useful dose we can repeat consistently. Instead of a long HIIT class, we're talking about a short session with a few brief surges. You get a strong signal, you keep the total cost low, and you live to train again next week. And yes, the internet loves 10 minutes per week. Here's the honest framing. That's a starter dose, not a guaranteed endgame. The studies that move VO2 reliably usually use multiple short sessions per week over multiple weeks. So our goal is to build a habit that fits real life, respects recovery, and still sends the body a message. We still have another gear. That's the longevity play. Now let's address the big fear. Is high-intensity training safe after 40? The adult answer is, it can be, but only if it's scaled. A bike sprint is not the same risk as sprinting on pavement. A controlled rower interval is not the same as a surprise, all-out run when we haven't sprinted since the Obama administration. Our heart may be willing before our hamstrings, Achilles, calves, knees, and back have voted yes. That's why we're going to recommend the bike first for most people. It's low impact, stable, and you can control resistance precisely. A rower can also be excellent if technique is good and the back tolerates it. Running sprints are an advanced option, not the default. Here's a rule we want to tattoo onto the fitness internet. Your heart and lungs do not care whether the interval happens on a track, bike, rower, incline walk, or air bike. Your joints do. Now the single most important safety rule. Never sprint cold after 40. Cold sprinting is not training. It is a hamstring negotiation with gravity. Warm-up is the price of admission. We want at least 5 to 10 minutes of easy movement first, then a few short, wake-up surges at moderate effort, then we begin the first hard interval. The first hard interval should never be the hardest interval. If we're using a bike, we start with easy pedaling, then we do 2 to 3 short pickups of 10 to 15 seconds at a moderate effort. Not a sprint, just enough to tell the legs and heart, we're about to do something spicy. If we're using a rower, same concept. Easy strokes, then 2 to 3 short pickups with clean technique, then we start the work. Now let's define intensity in a way that keeps this safe. In week 1, we do not want all out. We want hard but smooth. That means we can still breathe, we can keep form, and we could do one more round if we had to. If your technique collapses, your intensity is too high. If you feel like you're about to see your ancestors, that's not a microdose. We also want you to understand what VO₂ training actually needs. It's not constant suffering, it's repeated exposure to a higher oxygen demand, with recovery that lets you repeat it. That's why these sessions often feel surprisingly short. The work is small, but the signal is loud. Now, before we give the plan, we need a quick, who should avoid, section. If you have chest pressure, chest pain, pain radiating to the jaw or arm, unexplained shortness of breath, dizziness or fainting, new scary palpitations, or a sudden, something is wrong, feeling with exertion, do not push through. Stop and get checked. That's not weakness, that's longevity. The goal is to train for decades, not win one workout and lose the next 10 years. Also, if you have known heart disease, uncontrolled high blood pressure, or significant metabolic or cardiovascular conditions, talk to your clinician before you start sprint intervals. There are safe ways to build intensity, but we don't guess with high stakes. Now let's build the 4-week starter plan. This is designed for people over 40 who want a safe VO₂ nudge without blowing up joints or recovery. We'll keep it simple, 1 to 2 sessions per week, non-consecutive days, bike or rower preferred, long recoveries, controlled intensity. Week 1 is about learning the gear, not finding your limits. Do 1 session. Warm up 6 to 8 minutes easy. Then do 4 rounds of 10 seconds hard but smooth, about a 7 out of 10 effort, with 2 minutes easy between rounds. Then cool down 4 to 5 minutes. We should finish thinking, that felt strong, but we could have done more. That's perfect, we're earning the right to progress. Week 2 is about consistency. Do 1 to 2 sessions, non-consecutive. Warm up 6 to 8 minutes. Then do 4 to 5 rounds of 10 to 12 seconds hard, about a 7 to 8 out of 10, with 2 minutes easy. Cool down. No racing, no prove yourself workouts. This is training, not a personality test. Week 3 is a small progression. Do 2 sessions, non-consecutive. Warm up thoroughly, then choose one option. Option A. 4 rounds of 15 seconds hard with 2 to 3 minutes easy between. Option B. 2 rounds of 20 seconds hard with 3 minutes easy between, then add 2 more rounds only if form stays clean. We're still not chasing all out. We're chasing repeatability. Week 4 is the microdose maintenance option. 2 sessions, non-consecutive. Now we can use a HIIT style structure if we want. That means a 10-minute session with 2 20-second hard surges inside it, with long easy pedaling before, between, and after. Or we can do 4 rounds of 15 to 20 seconds hard with long recoveries. Either way, the goal is the same. Small dose, strong signal, recoverable cost. Now, where does this fit with strength training? This is important for our audience. If we lift, we don't stack sprint intervals right after a brutal leg day. That's how people end up hating cardio and limping around the kitchen like a baby deer. We place microdose intervals on a day away from heavy squats or deadlifts when possible. Or we do the interval session first, and keep the strength session lighter that day. The body adapts when the plan is recoverable. Now let's talk about the best tool choice for beginners. If you're choosing between running sprints and bike sprints, we pick the bike for most people starting out. If you love running, that's great, but sprinting is a different animal than jogging. Running sprints are higher impact, less forgiving, and more likely to involve hamstrings, calves, Achilles, or knees complaining loudly. We can earn running sprints later. We can start with safer tools now. Here are 3 microdose options we can use if we don't have a bike or rower. 1. Incline walking intervals on a treadmill. 2. An elliptical or stair climber. 3. A sled push if we have access. The key is a brief, higher effort surge, followed by full recovery, with a warm-up that prepares us for the surge. Now, the question everyone asks: how hard is hard? Our simplest rule is the clean representative rule. If the interval looks clean, we can keep it. If form breaks, we back off. On a bike, that might mean the legs still spin smoothly and we aren't bouncing or rocking like we're trying to escape the seat. On a rower, it means the stroke stays controlled, the back stays stable, and we're not yanking with the lower spine. If we want a number, we can use perceived exertion. Week 1 we can go for a 7 out of 10. For week 2, we can do a 7 to 8 out of 10. Finally, weeks 3 and 4, we can do an 8 out of 10 for most people. And for advanced, medically appropriate athletes, the intervals can approach near max on a bike or rower with full recovery. But we earn that, we don't start there. Now let's address the biggest myth. Zone 2 is the only longevity cardio. Zone 2 is valuable. It builds aerobic base and metabolic flexibility, and it's joint friendly. But higher intensity intervals can be a time-efficient way to improve cardiorespiratory fitness, especially when we're short on time. The truth is not either or. The truth is both and. We can build a base with walking and Zone 2, and we can nudge the ceiling with microdose intervals. Here's another myth. More pain means more VO₂. No, the best protocol is the one we can recover from and repeat. After 40, the fastest program is not the one that looks intense on Instagram. It's the one that stacks weeks without injury. Now, what should we feel after these sessions? We should feel challenged, not destroyed. We might feel a little breathy during the interval, and then we should recover in the easy pedaling. If we feel dizzy, nauseated, chest pressure, or alarming symptoms, that's a stop sign. If we feel joint pain or sharp tendon pain, that's a dose problem. Now we need the simplest progression rule for long-term success. We only change one variable at a time. We can add a little time per interval, or add one round, or add one session per week. We don't increase all three at once. That's how people blow their recovery budget. Here's a practical graduate target after the 4-week starter. 2 short sessions per week, each around 10 to 15 minutes total, with 2 to 4 hard surges inside. That's still tiny, that's still realistic, and it can coexist with strength training, walking, and a life that includes work, family, and stress. Now let's add one more safety and effectiveness piece. Cooling down matters. A few minutes of easy movement helps the nervous system downshift. It also helps you walk away feeling like you trained, not like you survived. And we want you to remember this. The goal is not to become a sprinter. The goal is to remind your cardiovascular system that it's allowed to have another gear. VO₂, microdosing, is like sending a short, sharp email to your body. It says, we still do hard things. Then you close the laptop and go live your life. Now let's close with a simple weekly template that fits most people after 40. Most days, we walk. 2 to 4 days per week, we lift. 1 to 2 days per week, we microdose intervals on a bike or rower. That's it, that's the plan. And if we can only do 1 session per week, we start there and stack consistency. Quick reminder. This is educational, not medical advice. If you have red flags, known cardiovascular disease, uncontrolled hypertension, or concerning symptoms with exertion, talk with a clinician before doing high-intensity intervals. If this episode helped, hit like and subscribe. Check the description for the tools and affiliate links that match today's episode, plus our Longevity Compass Amazon KDP book. And comment, Microdose, if you're trying the 4-week starter plan. We'll be in the comments helping you keep it safe, repeatable, and actually effective.